I think I'm a rebel, which is one of the reasons why I
You
went
are a
on The
rebel.
Bachelor when I was an opera singer. Like, you just don't do that.
No one does that.
And I think I'm a rebel at heart.
You
and
know what rebels don't do, though?
Talk about being a rebel.
Yeah,
I know.
Sorry, that
It's
disqualifies
like getting
you.
a lone wolf tattoo.
Yeah, it's a lone wolf.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to Dear Shandy, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing okay.
You look caught off guard.
I was caught off guard. I was itching when you said
Itching and
welcome
breathing.
to Dear Shandy.
You asked before we got going, you're like, do we have any housekeeping? And I just thought that was such a funny question given what you've been going through.
What I've been going through?
Yeah, what you've been going through. Do you want to talk about it?
My eyes.
Andy has new eyes.
I have new eyes.
Do you want to talk about it?
My eyes are new. I got new eyes. I see the world in a new way. Otherwise known as I can see the world the way other people see it.
Oh, I find that so sad to think of all these years robbed from you from just bad eyesight. You were telling me this morning that you said this is the first time you've seen as well as you did when you were like 12 or 13, and that you used to play baseball and suddenly you just kept missing the ball. You couldn't see the ball
I was a good
anymore.
hitter. And suddenly I just couldn't hit the ball for the life of me.
I gotta say, if this were just like evolution and you didn't have like lasers to help you, you would have not made it.
No, I would have been, no, I disagree.
Oh, really?
I would have become the town wise man.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have just sat, they would have brought me food and drink, and I would have just given out wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah, because I'd be the blind town. You know, I'd be the guy they go to for. I think when you're blind in the old days, they thought you were smarter.
Yeah, well, you
Or
are.
they just
You
cast
kind
you
of
out.
are smarter, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
your sense of smell, I think, is as attuned as it is because of your formerly poor eyes.
Yes, I agree. I think the more senses you take away from someone, the more the remaining senses are heightened.
Yes.
So yeah, there is some truth to the fact that the blind man was the wise man. So yes, I think in the olden days, I would have been the wise man.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to talk about it or do you want to just move on? Just let everyone believe what they want to believe.
I just believe it. I mean, I got eye surgery.
Okay. We'll move on. I feel like you're weirdly a little like shy about it.
Well, I don't know. I feel like some people, I feel anytime you talk about something that's done to you medically, some people might misinterpret it.
Oh, no. Well, what happened was your left eye has been gravely injured and traumatized ever since you were in a really bad car accident in your early 20s. We've talked about this before.
It's finally come home to roost.
Yeah, you had a really like a debilitating cataract in that eye at a young age. And so finally.
No, I did not have a debilitating. And now you're talking shit. This is why I should have said it in the first place.
I kept hearing about how debilitating this cataract. Suddenly it's not debilitating.
Well, it wasn't debilitating when I was 12.
No, I mean, no, that was before the accident. What I'm saying
got
is,
into an accident when I was 19.
okay, I thought it was early
And
20s.
from that trauma,
Yes.
over the decades, it has developed into a cataract in my left eye.
Yes.
And
That's
now
more or
that
less what I
cataract
said.
is gone.
Yes. Great.
And prior to that, I was having some difficulty.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I've reconsidered our marriage.
Now?
Yeah.
Now that you see.
I'm not sure I'm not sure this is good enough for me.
That makes me so sad because this morning you were like, oh my God, Ruby's so cute. She's even cuter than I thought. And you didn't say anything like that about me.
Well, okay, actually, I did. This is a lie. I said you were sitting right in this chair, and I was sitting on that couch, and we were watching some show, and I looked at you, and I said, I'm looking at you now, and you're even more beautiful than you were before the surgery. I said that. That was said. And you just, you know what I realized? Similar to the way that I point out some of the things you do around the house that I don't like, but I don't give enough credit for the things you do that are
you always
good.
notice what I don't do and not always, but you sometimes notice what I don't do versus what I do.
Yes. But same thing with you. When I compliment you, you don't notice that as much as when there's an absence of a compliment. The compliments just go, they're kind of like nothing. You're just like, okay, whatever.
Let me think about that for a second. I think that might be true.
All right. Well, that's good.
And I think that I also find a way to interpret compliments in the worst possible way. So just now when you were like, you look even more beautiful than you did before the surgery, I'm like, well, that's not saying that much. Like you could hardly see me before. It's sort of like when someone's like, oh, you're the most beautiful girl in this bar. You're like, thanks.
Oh yeah. I made that mistake once. Oof.
With a girlfriend.
I thought I was like, oh, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
And then I got slammed. And I at the time I was like, what are you talking about? That's a call. I'm like, yeah, you're the most beautiful girl in this bar, and also probably other places too. But we're in this bar now, and I realized no, there's no digging out of that one. You never say that. Doesn't matter how big the venue is, unless it's like if it's like Cowboy Stadium. It's like 100,000 people. Maybe you get away with it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But even then, you're creating a subset. You have to be the most beautiful girl in the world or nothing. It's an either or.
Yeah, I have to admit something about the in this blank detracts from the compliment, even though I can admit that's being so bratty and stupid and unrealistic and like it's not even true.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But I have to admit I have received similar compliments like I just did. And I'm like, that could have been more complimentary than that sounds.
Which on the other hand, where with me, if someone says you're the best looking guy like in this taxi, I feel great.
You know,
I don't care what the size of the group is.
This is society's fault because women are so heralded for beauty. That's so important. That's not my fault. I've been conditioned to be this way.
It's absolutely not
by men.
No, I completely agree.
Okay.
And I want to just reiterate, just in case anyone out there thinks I'm a monster, that I do see things in you now that I didn't see before. Every single addition of sight upon you it makes me realize that you're even more beautiful than I thought. Light falls upon your face very well. It highlights all the beautiful choices that nature made with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, husband. I'm realizing how horrible I am to compliment now.
And your hair, too. I noticed, you know what? I see strands of hair now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually see individual strands.
Well, okay. Well, I did get my hair highlighted.
It's everything's good.
Look. Okay.
You're a good looking gal.
Okay, husband. Now I feel ashamed.
Yeah, you should.
I feel ashamed that I brought this up. Okay, well, it's Q&A day.
It is.
What a housekeeping we had today. Shall we get going?
Yeah.
Instead of airing out our marital issues, we'll just answer other people's. All right, this first question is from L.
The letter?
Dear Shandy, my name is L. I'm 26 years old and I live in a big East Coast city. I'm a huge fan of your podcast. Thank you, L. You both always make me smile, laugh out loud, and have been there for me over the last 3 years, which have been quite difficult. In a few weeks, I'll be graduating from a fancy law school that is really hard to get into and even harder to get through. It has been a very difficult 3 years, and I'm excited to celebrate this accomplishment with my family. It's extra special to us because I'm the first person in my family to graduate from law school and come from an immigrant family. Now on to my question. I'm wondering what you think about sending people a law school commencement gift registry. I am not hosting a graduation party because my friends and extended family are all over the place and are not coming to town for my ceremony. I've spent thousands of dollars on friends' weddings, bachelorette parties, baby showers, all the typical big life events which are worth celebrating big and which it's expected you give a gift.
Doesn't matter.
I am single, and while I hope to get married and have children in the future, there's no guarantee that'll happen. Would it be taboo to send a gift registry, particularly to those who I've given gifts for their weddings and baby showers?
Doesn't work that way.
I feel like this accomplishment is just as important and worth celebrating big. I wish as a society we celebrated these milestones with as much bravado as we do women getting married.
I agree.
I respect the Shandy take and I'm looking forward to hearing what you think, L.
Well, unfortunately, L, no. No.
Here's the thing is I agree with all of her reasons.
Oh, everything she said is true.
Yeah.
But if she does this, she has to accept the fact that every single person who gets this registry is going to be talking with their friends about the fact that they got a registry about someone graduating from law school. And it's not, no one's going to, okay, let's say she sends it to 100 people. Maybe 5 people out of 100 are going to be like, oh, that's cute. That's the best she's going to get. Everyone else is going to be like, huh?
Yeah. Also, one of the things that's sticking out to me is the fact that she's not actually hosting a party, graduation party. At least because, with a wedding, a baby shower, a bachelorette, there's like a festivity that people have the option to attend. Whether or not they can attend is different. And I also think, I think it's a little debatable if you cannot attend, whether or not you need to send a gift. I think you don't necessarily need to, depending on who you talk to about that. But in this case, she's not even hosting that. I love the idea of celebrating this huge accomplishment, But I don't think just sending people a gift registry is going to I don't know if it's going to come off the way she intends it to.
Yeah, there are certain things that are just not done. And there are certain things that are done that probably shouldn't be done, but because they're done, doing it in another way is not good.
I think the party part's important. Honestly, the more I think about it.
Even if she has a party, it's weird. Unfortunately, you're 100% right. And since you're a Shandy, trust me, we understand, we see eye to eye, but you cannot do this the same way. Just because I have bought a lot of beers in a lot of bars does not mean that I can walk into any bar and be like, hey, I like beer. Give me a free beer.
Or like, let's say you've bought other friends lots of beers over the years.
That's a better analogy. That's what I meant, and I didn't articulate that well.
Yeah, so let's say you're the friend who buys all your friends beers.
Right.
And now you're like, okay, well, it's my turn to celebrate.
I've noticed over the last 20 years, I think I'm up like 20 beers on you guys. Yeah. Tonight, we're all buying me drinks. I'm going to make an official invitation card.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Even though you're in the right, technically.
And actually, I'm a big believer in career milestones. Like I think people will they'll sort of like a birthday. I think it's way more celebratable than a birthday, to be honest. Like if I had a huge career moment,
we agree with you. You're 100% right. This is what I'm going to say this. If you want to become a maverick, if you want to start a trend, if you want to try, you're going to sacrifice yourself, though. It's going to be a sacrifice.
People are going to talk.
You may even lose friends.
People are going to talk about it.
People are going to talk about it.
I'm going to say something that might not sound great, but if I received this...
We would talk about it.
Yeah, if I had invited people to a wedding, which, by the way, cost us thousands of dollars to host, and yes, it was to celebrate ourselves, but it's not like the person who gave us gifts or who gave us a gift didn't get anything out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like they came to a wedding and they had a big meal. I'm not saying that it's a good way to spend money, but like they got something out of it. And we would never expect a gift if someone was not able to attend the wedding.
If I'm going to not reenact. I'm going to act out what we and probably many other people would do upon receiving the letter. Okay, ready? Hold on.
Oh no, this is shaming.
It's not shaming. I'm just going to show her so she knows what she's getting into. Okay. Oh, what's this? We got a letter from Elle. Is she getting married? Do you know
what
is
is
Elle
it?
Getting married?
No.
She's not getting married, right?
No, but but she doesn't need to get married. That's okay.
Just you'd say this if we were
opening. Okay, fine. But what is it? What's the thing?
Okay, I'm going to open this letter.
All right.
I don't know what this is.
I don't think it's a letter. It's probably an email.
It's a letter. It's a proper letter. If you want to set up a registry, you got to send a proper letter.
This gets to the heart of the issue. It's a letter. A gift registry is part of an invitation to an event, to a festivity, to a party, to a wedding, to something that is like a celebration. In this case, there's no party. You're just asking for presents. You can't.
What the f***?
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's the reaction.
Okay. I also think, I don't know if this should play into our answer, but it's going to play into mine a little bit. The fact that she was going to a really fancy law school. Like, I know from her perspective, she's the first in her
that's
family.
That's going to add another layer.
That's what I'm saying.
Extreme.
She has extreme earning potential in the career that she's about to embark on.
Yes.
So I can picture this also rubbing people wrong.
This is not going to...
No one's thinking about, how much her tuition was. No one's thinking like that.
No.
They're just thinking, you went to, I don't know, what's the big one in the big city here?
Harvard, Yale.
I assume that it's
Princeton.
Yeah. What's the big one here?
Northwestern. What?
What's the big one?
Northwestern? NYU?
No, there's a big one here.
Fordham?
Yes.
Fordham, yeah, that's a good one. The thing is, this is the difference. I think I'm trying to get to the heart of philosophically why this feels so wrong.
Yeah.
And there's no question this is wrong and you should not do this. That's my advice. Do what you want.
I don't think you should ever ask people for presents.
You should never ask people for presents, but particularly in a situation where it involves some sort of, for lack of a better word, is class the right word? No, it's what's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea, but I'm very invested. I want to know.
What's it like? What do you call it when someone's like doing, graduating from Harvard Law School versus someone who's graduating from like a like high school and then going to work in like a gas station? I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
What do you call that?
The disparity and
income disparity, wealth disparity, socioeconomic disparity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you're getting.
When you are celebrating what is a clear and distinct socioeconomic disparity with many of your peers, I think that can come across as gauche. Especially if you're asking them specifically for gifts without a party, as you mentioned.
Yeah, the party is. I think that the party is the
party
piece.
is a problem. Yeah. Whereas a wedding, like even if you're marrying into like society, you're marrying a Kennedy or something,
a Rockefeller,
Rockefeller, Kennedy is a little dicey, but you're marrying a Rockefeller. No, I shouldn't say that. Is that? I can't even say that. Okay. Anyway,
I don't know if a Kennedy is what it used to be.
Yeah, Kennedy. Yeah, it's like a B- now. It used to be a solid A+. Anyway, so the point is that if you are marrying someone who's of great social status, whatever, it's a successful marriage, so to speak, or a high class marriage. Even then, it's okay to have a registry because it's tradition. And
but you're probably having a wedding at the New York Public Library.
The plaza. I mean, this is a big wedding. Everyone's having a good time.
Yes.
No one's going to look back and be like, oh, I got screwed. I had to give a gift for this party. And everyone, not everyone, most people end up getting married one day. Whether they get married to someone who people disapprove of or people think is a great match, it doesn't matter because it's a party that everyone has and everyone gives gifts at that party. Mm-hmm. This is different. Not only are you pointing out, look, I graduated from, let's just call it Harvard, for lack of a better word. Not everybody graduates from Harvard Law School. And then you go and ask people, hey, celebrate me without me celebrating you for doing a thing that makes me in some ways societally better than you in your eyes.
You think it sounds gloaty.
It's got a lot of problems.
I feel bad because I do want, you know what I want her to do is I want her to celebrate like her first job with a party. She needs the party. I'm sorry, the party has to happen.
And an expensive party.
It doesn't have to be even expensive. It could just be at a bar. But like, if you expect people to get you gifts, you have to host something.
Listen.
A birthday party. It's like a birthday.
The only parties that can suck and you still deserve gifts are birthday parties. It's the only one.
Yes.
There's no other party that's like that.
Yes.
I could say, come over to my house and it's like in my basement. I haven't done anything. There's no chips. There's no drinks. It's just me and my underwear. And you come and you're not bringing gifts. I'm going to be pissed off. But this is not one of those situations at all.
No.
Really, let's be honest. There are a lot of other types of parties. You're celebrating people, but not bringing gifts.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. She could host a party and still not get gifts. I also think before we close, we've been talking about this one for a lot longer than I expected to, but I mean, our answer has stayed the same.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very emphatic no. But on top of all this, it suggests inherently that she's keeping score of who she's gotten gifts for over the years, which I don't think is a great way to move through life.
And this is, I'm glad you brought this up.
It kind of smells a little bit of bitterness.
This is
like how come they're getting gifts? They're being celebrated just for getting married. When I did this, it's like to someone else, maybe that is their dream. I think it's important to like respect what other people's big dream is. And I understand we live in a society that doesn't celebrate graduation as much as marriage, and that can be frustrating. But I think it's better to just like leave the scoreboard in the past, in your early 20s.
On that same point, these people didn't do her a wrong.
No.
They're basically asking for gifts because everyone who gets married asks for gifts.
Yeah. Okay, Elle. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I want to give you the answer, which is like, go for it. And by all means, you still can.
Oh.
And if you do, we want an update.
Do not go for it.
I want an update if so.
I don't want her to. You know what? That's sick.
You know what she should do? Let's say she really, 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 really wants to be celebrated and given gifts for this big momentous moment for her. She should enlist a friend to do it for her. It's like, we're celebrating Elle at, this event space or this bar. Yeah, just because this is such a big accomplishment for her. I'm putting out this registry. Like, she can't do it in her own name.
How about this? I got an idea. Throw a party. Don't ask for gifts.
Yeah.
Don't ask for a single gift. Just say, come, bring yourself. I want to celebrate. I'm so excited about graduating. I want to be with all my friends. Mm-hmm. Come to my party and hope for gifts.
Yeah.
And if gifts don't come, Except.
You know what? You're going to make so much money as a lawyer from this big fancy law school that you can buy yourself all the gifts.
And you know what? The greatest gift you have gotten out of this is the gift you gave yourself by graduating from this amazing law school.
Yes.
Accept that gift.
Yes.
Don't keep score.
Yes. Okay, Elle.
You'll always lose.
Good luck. And I don't think you need it, to be honest, because I think that the gift has already been given.
Is she still a Shandy?
I don't know.
Still?
I hope so.
Should we lose a Shandy?
Oh, God. Well, Andy, we have a brand new mud water that has just come in the mail, and I'm very excited. I decided we're going to unbox our mud water today.
Ooh.
See, it's got the on it. Oh. Okay, that was a little unceremonious because it's really just... Okay, that you know what this shows? It's not our first mud water order, because if it were our first one, then you get the frother, you get the coconut milk creamer. However, this is a repeat purchase, so it's no frills.
Yeah, just what we need.
And that also shows you how much we love our mud water, the fact that we continue to repurchase, by the way, with our own money. Lest you think mud water just gives this to us, they don't.
Cacao, masala chai, cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, chaga, turmeric, Himalayan salt.
This is our afternoon pick-me-up. We like to put a spoonful in hot water, froth it with some soy milk, and add a tiny bit of honey.
Zero sugar?
Zero sugar.
USDA organic certified?
Yeah, it's a treat that you will not feel guilty about, but that feels like a treat.
So if you're ready to make the switch to cleaner energy, go to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit today.
Right now, our Shandy's get an exclusive deal of up to 43% off your entire order, plus free shipping, plus a free rechargeable frother when using code Shandy.
That's up to 43% off with code Shandy at mudwtr.com.
After you purchase, they'll ask how you heard about them. Support Dear Shandy and tell them we sent you.
Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mudwater.
Because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy.
So, Charlene, we are entering that time of year where I thank the good Lord I have cozy earth sheets on my body.
Yeah, you thank the cozy earth gods for their cozy earth sheets that are made from viscose from bamboo, which is a fabric that defies logic. It defies the rules of physics.
That's right.
I don't fully understand how they're able to make the softest imaginable fabric from the hardest imaginable substance.
Mm-hmm.
And they are cooling, temperature regulating, breathable. So in a very hot summer, you might be normally sweaty. And then as you sweat night after night, you start staining your sheets. They start getting yellow. Sorry, we all know what I'm talking. Andy's making a face, but you know, this happens. Don't pretend it hasn't happened to you. It has.
I'm one of the greatest yellowers of sheets.
Yes. And we can't forget how risk-free this purchase would be. They come with a 100-night sleep trial. So you could test out these sheets on the hottest nights of the year. And if you're like, this is not keeping me cool enough, then you can send them back hassle-free for a full refund.
So luxury should not be out of reach.
Go to cozyearth.com and use code Shandy to get up to 40% off Cozy Earth's best-selling temperature-regulating bed sheets, apparel, and more.
You'll feel the difference the very first night.
That's cozyearth.com, code Shandy. Sleep cooler, lounge lighter, stay cozy. All right, this next question is from Anonymous. Dear Shandy, I'm a longtime listener and panda, want to thank you both for providing so much laughter and thoughtful discussion to my weeks. Thank you so much, Anonymous.
You know what panda's like? That's like a guy who's like, I was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn. Oh, shit. I can't make any sports analogies. Okay, I'm going to stick with this one because everyone, that's not true, actually. It's too old for everyone. 20% of people who are listening are going to know what I'm talking about.
Okay. And then they can comment.
If you're old enough to say, I was a fan of the Brooklyn Dodgers, I liked them when they were in Brooklyn rather than LA.
Yeah.
First of all, you're very old. But second of all, that's exactly what's happening here with the pandas.
Okay. I mean, every year that passes and people still say that they were a panda, I'm like, that was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
For some background, I, 29 female, am wrapping up my first novel. Wow, so many accomplishments.
I know.
I'm so proud of our Shandies.
Hoity-toity Shandies.
It's a really exciting time, but as I reflect, I realize I may have dedicated it prematurely. For background, I met Z, or Zed for my Canadians, 30 female, on an online writing forum when we were 13. Wow. Despite living across the country from each other, we considered each other our closest friends. We visited each other several times, and we've even gone on international vacations together. Since our early to mid-20s, however, we've slowly drifted apart. That's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
We haven't visited.
I don't have any friends. Oh, I have one friend. One friend from when I was that age.
Yeah, from 13, they've gone on trips together. I mean,
one friend.
They're now
whole
29
world.
and 30.
Yeah.
It is so not surprising that, mid 20s that would start to.
And also that friend that I have is from when I was 13, we reconnected like 20 years later. So it doesn't really count. It's not like we were like hanging out from 13 to 30 something.
Yeah. I think in general, this is super common.
Yeah.
For these friendships
Super
to ebb and flow.
common, yeah.
Okay, so we've slowly drifted apart. We haven't visited since 2019. Well, that's also not surprising because pre-COVID. Okay, sorry.
Good.
I'll stay on the thread here. And we don't keep in touch often. It's more than simply having new priorities as time goes on. It's a situation where I'm not sure we'd be friends if we met each other today. Oh, I know that feeling. It boils down to this. We simply aren't as close as we once were. Now on to the question. I started the book when I was 14.
Whoa. How old is
Damn.
she now?
29. She has spent half her life, more than half her life, writing this book.
Slow writer. Not the right takeaway.
I was more thinking slow play.
Slow play, yeah.
The writing is not anything like it was when I started it at 14, but it features the same characters and general premise. I dedicated the book to Z then, but the journey I've gone on in writing this book as an adult has barely involved her. I'd instead like to dedicate my book to H, one of my friends and writing peers whose encouragement and feedback has had a profound impact on this book. Would it be wrong of me to dedicate my book to someone else over a decade later? Is this something I should chalk up to just sentiment and leave untouched? Would changing this book dedication cause unnecessary strife in an otherwise slowly fading friendship? Any thoughts, opinions, or advice would be greatly appreciated. And we followed up because we wanted to make sure, that Z was actually aware that she planned to dedicate the book to her. Because I think that's necessary.
That's very necessary.
Yeah, and she says yes. It was something we discussed when we were teens.
I mean, there's
that's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, but it also it sometimes promises of that weight from a long time ago,
Still
are
carry
a little
weight.
more, they're more, they're promises you kind of maybe have to keep.
Oh, really? Is this? Oh, really? Your answer's surprising me right now.
I don't think the stakes are too high on this one either way.
Does a book have to be dedicated to only one person?
Oh, that's a good point.
When I first read this question, I was like, no big deal. Just dedicate it to H. And I know it's easy for me to say because I haven't been working on this book for half my life.
You know what she could do? She could dedicate it to a secret friend.
You know who you are, my writing comrade.
Yeah, from some time ago. Some indeterminate time
At a
ago.
glance, I think that, you dedicate it to H. And I'm actually curious because we do have a lot of writer Shandies. A lot.
I do.
Amazing writers out there. And maybe there is some etiquette to this that I'm not understanding. But I also think, just food for thought, Anonymous, you probably are the writer you are today because of Z. I'm not saying that her writing hasn't changed. She hasn't evolved. She's become a different person. They've grown apart, all the things. But I actually think underneath this question, she just said, I don't know if we would be friends if we met today, which I totally understand that feeling. I feel that trust me, I understand that feeling. But it doesn't just feel like, oh, we've drifted apart. It feels kind of like, doesn't it feel like a little loaded to you?
Honestly, I need to know what this book is about. What book do you start at 14 and end at 29? How do you continue? Like, did she just keep going back and rewriting stuff she wrote when she was 14? Or is it still the same thing she wrote when she was 14?
She said that her writing style has changed, but the original premise and characters are the same. Here's the thing. I don't think she owes Z this dedication. And I also don't think that Z, upon seeing the book, would be like opening it to the dedication page and being like, oh, that bitch. You know what I mean? She's 30. She's 30 years old. Is she really going to do
funny
that?
There's drama in everything.
I know.
Everything.
Because I got to say, when I open a book and I see a dedication, now, after this question, I'm going to be like, was there drama behind
this person and not the other one?
Because up until now, I've always been like, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. There's drama behind everything. Everything has drama.
Yeah.
Someone's feelings are almost always offended in every transaction.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Think about how many novels out there where the book wasn't dedicated to someone and they were like,
no,
that was supposed to be dedicated to me. Or
No.
I thought he or she would dedicate to me. Or they said they would.
Or even more awkward, if a book is dedicated to you and you don't consider yourself really a close friend of that person.
Oh.
And then you're just like, this is weird. Do I owe them something? Like, why did I get the book? Like, I don't really want to even hang out with this person.
Do they not have like closer friends? And then you feel bad
now
for them.
do I have to reach out and be like, oh my God, I'm so touched. Should we get coffee? And suddenly we're friends and I don't know if I want to be friends. Like that could be just as bad.
Okay, so let's quickly answer this because I think we both agree. Yeah. She can dedicate it to H.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I do think it's important to, even if you're no longer close with people, like the friend that I'm thinking of where I'm like, I don't know if we would be friends if we met today. I am nonetheless, in part, the person I am today because of this friend at the point in my life where we were friends. That's just fact.
It's a book dedicating friend.
Not necessarily. I didn't say that.
Oh, no.
But it's more that, you can still honor it in your mind. You don't have to dedicate your whole book to the person, but it's good for your own juju to look back on these relationships as having been formative for you, even if you're not as close today and then maybe there's a little bit of resentment there that you're not necessarily acknowledging.
I'd say this is one of those look inside your heart questions.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
Who would you dedicate a book to? I'm trying to think who I would dedicate a book to. I'd probably
Is that
dedicate
even
it to
a
you.
question?
I dedicate it to you, obviously.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You dedicate it to me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Whew.
All right. This next question is from Anonymous. Dear Shandy, about a year ago, I, 32 female, moved to a large city in the Southwest. I've been working on making friends and also done some online dating. Mostly, I found it a positive experience and I appreciate that the apps give me a structure for meeting new people and getting to know the city. In October, I matched with a guy, 30M, who was nice, but I didn't like him enough to date him. I now realize I didn't really like him enough to be close friends with him either. A few weeks after our 2 dates, I reached out to him in a low moment to ask if he wanted to be friends, and he said yes.
Uh-oh.
We hung out a lot very quickly because at the time, neither of us really had a solid community of friends. He was decent company and an eager friend. We both liked to cook, and he was generous with sharing the perks of his bougie life. Spa visits, yoga, trips to the symphony. We had movie nights. We cooked together. We drove each other to the airport. We went on walks. As we became friends, I had to convince him several times over that I genuinely did not want to date him. He was so used to girls playing games that he couldn't take me at my word. This was frustrating because I tend to say exactly what I mean very directly, especially when agitated. Even once he believed me, I was still wary that we spent as much time together as if we were dating, and my emotional investment didn't match the time invested. It's not that I always actively wanted to hang out, but that I didn't have a great reason to say no when asked, and he reached out a lot. Starting around January, I found myself enjoying time spent with him less. I've left most hangs feeling grumpy and wishing I'd just spent the time by myself. Still, I pity him for his loneliness, even as I recognize that growing up might be what he needs to keep the people he likes around. However, my life here is also full enough now with both people and work that I am grateful to have a solo night of downtime when I get one, and it feels less restful to spend it around him. The question. I've struggled to figure out how to dial the friendship back down to proportion with my level of interest, what a casual friend gets from me, or try to gradually move him out of my life entirely. I've been keeping more distance in the last few weeks under the excuse of being really busy at work, which is true, but that can't last forever. He has said that he doesn't want more, quote, low-effort friendships in his life.
Okay.
And when we've had mild confrontations, he spirals and fixates on little things I say, eventually circling back to make me explain what I meant. Ooh, God, this sounds intense. Wow. Is there a way to just treat him like the kind of friend I want him to be? Quote, take a walk or grab a drink every few weeks kind of friend. Do I even want that much contact? Is there any way to make this right size itself? Thank you for any wisdom you can offer on this conundrum. I've loved the podcast since the beginning and recaps from the Panda days. Oh my God, another panda. And I'm always eager to hear your takes. Anonymous. Oh, thank
sweet.
you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
this one was like.
Well, I want to start off by saying that pity is one of the worst things you can exhibit in friendships or love. It is a damaging emotion.
Yeah.
And it's not even emotion. What is pity? Is pity an emotion? Pity is an act of being. It's an act of feeling sorry for someone and therefore feeling like you need to give them something to lift them up, even if you don't want to really have anything to do with them.
Yeah.
And it's damaging for you because you end up giving energy to something you shouldn't be giving energy to. And the person who you're pitying is getting false energy.
Yes.
It's not genuine. So it's making them more insecure and maybe even more sad in their own pitiful way. But in this situation, this guy clearly is not someone who lifts her up. She doesn't feel taller after hanging out with this guy.
No.
Why?
She's grumpy.
You're grumpy. Why do you need to keep this guy as a peripheral friend? This guy should be out of the peripheral. He should have left the orbit beyond Pluto. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. Just keep making excuses. And when it comes to a head, he's going to eventually, this guy, it sounds like he likes things to come to a head. He's going to say, what's up? Why do you never want to hang out? And you have to be honest with him.
Ooh.
You just say, no.
Oh my God. I'm having a hard time.
It's going to be okay.
Oh.
It's going to be okay. You got to be honest with him.
I'm just not envious.
You got to be honest with him. Otherwise, you're going to play this dance forever.
He is not reading between the lines. And I think that is actually probably his fatal flaw in friendships in general. Yeah. Because that I would be grumpy after hanging out with someone like that. Yeah. The same person who's not picking up on my subtle cues that maybe I want to hang out a little bit less and is forcing me to explain something that like I probably never wanted to have to say.
Yeah.
That kind of person in a friendship is just, I'm sorry, they're not linking the pieces together.
This is unfortunately someone who's pitiful and aggressive in their friendships. So what they get is a lot of pity friendships.
Yeah. I knew you would pounce on the word pity in this email because Andy is himself very sensitive to pity.
I'm a pitier. Because I felt at times in my life I was pitiful. And I know what it's like to be pitiful. As a little kid.
Really?
Yeah, when I was like 6, 7 years old, I was getting like bullied and stuff.
Oh.
And I really was a very sensitive kid.
Yeah.
And at that time, it felt so bad. I felt so bad that when I left the stage of my life where I was being bullied and I became more,
cool.
Yeah.
Did you become the bully?
Cool. I became very cool. Very cool. My point is that I remembered the feeling of being pitiful. I had resonated with it so hard. I was like, that's such an awful place to be that if I ever see that in someone else, I'll do what I can to help it.
Yeah.
And some of that, it becomes a people pleasing thing because then you see a little tiny bit of pity in everybody.
Yes.
But the fact is, everyone in some angle is pitiful.
Sure, but also do people want to be pitied?
No,
Which
no
gets
one
back to
wants
your
to be
original
pitied.
point.
No one wants to be a victim.
Yeah.
And if you do, you've got a problem.
The last thing I would ever want is a pity friend.
No one wants a pity friend.
I would rather have no friends.
And if you find out it's a pity friend, it's devastating.
Devastating. It's like life altering, life shattering.
Yeah.
I would much rather have no friends than 10 friends who are all friends with me because they pitied me.
I agree. I think this is a power fade.
Yeah.
This is a fade.
Yeah, she doesn't have a choice, honestly. I don't know how well he would take her feedback based on the vibe I'm getting. There comes a point. So she's 32. I often talk about this stage in life that happens generally around 30.
It's crossroads.
Yeah, it's usually like in this 28 to 33-year-old range, in my opinion. Two things happen, depending on your family. One is you have a separation from your parents. You sort of see them as flawed human beings and maybe need to separate. Maybe you've already separated. But another one is the separation of friends, of realizing how much it's costing you. And I'm not talking financially. I am talking energetically to spend time with people who do not fill your cup.
Right.
And then actively making the choice to not do that anymore and how difficult it is. It's shockingly hard. And here's the thing. I think this guy served a purpose for it. And I don't want to just make it sound like she's used him or was using him. She did say she benefited from his bougie lifestyle. They went to the symphony together, things like that. Yeah. But I don't think that she intended to just use him for that until he didn't serve his purpose anymore.
She doesn't need these things.
Yeah, I think it was more that she was lonely in a new city and now she's, realize that she can make friends, and the things that bothered her about him then or have only gotten worse.
You know what's unfortunate, and this happens to a lot of people, is that you go to a new place, whether it be a new school or a new town or whatever, or a new club, and you always make a first friend. There's one friend who saves you. You're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Nobody. I'm lonely. And then someone's like, here, take my hand. I'll show you.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, wow, a friend. And you're so psyched because it's like you were rescued from this deserted island.
Yes.
And then you realize like, this isn't the person I would have chosen 95% of the time. This isn't the person in this giant group I would have chosen to be my friend. This is the person I ran to. I rescued. They were my
savior.
What do you call the thing? The thing that looks like a lifesaver? Oh, a lifesaver. Smart. But anyway, that's it. You'd go to your lifesaver. And that lifesaver is not usually your good friend, your lifelong friend. It's usually just an acquaintance. And this happens to everybody. Sometimes out of pity.
Yeah.
Often you will keep that friend forever. And there'll come days where you're like, why am I friends with this person? And you're like, oh, because I was friends with them at the beginning.
Yes.
They took me in. They took me in, gave me
They
shelter from the storm.
They might have pitied you.
Maybe I was pitied, and now I'm giving pity back for a lifetime. Anyway, the point is that this is one of those situations. She came to a new town. This is the first guy she grabbed on, and then she realized she was grabbing onto a lifesaver, not a person. And she has to recognize that. It's not fair to him. He deserves better friends. His time shouldn't be occupied by someone who leaves those times feeling shitty.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Life's too short.
Life's too short for both of them.
So Anonymous, this is us giving you what I think you wanted by asking this question, and that is permission.
Oh.
I don't know. more quiet, delicate. We've just spent our whole answer agreeing with her and not actually answering her question, which is, how do I do it?
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
You're right.
you did this. The fade.
Oh, I think this is a power fade. Yeah.
Power fade. She's just busy forever.
And if he decides to bring it to a head, this is where you can either be a coward or a hero. And this is where you say,
but we wouldn't judge you for being a coward, because I would probably be
absolutely, you can be a coward. You could be, this is a great situation. You can be a coward or a hero because luckily for you, you didn't have any significant romantic involvement at the beginning.
I also don't like that he didn't believe her.
I agree.
When she would.
Yeah, I don't like that. That feels very, very handsy to me.
Yeah, I don't like it when men can't see women as just friends.
Yeah, you must want to have sex with me. Yeah. What are we doing?
What is this if there isn't some like sexual undertone to it?
You have to be sexually attracted to me. Look at me.
Yeah. Look at me.
I brought you to the symphony.
Yeah. Okay, Anonymous, good luck.
Washable silk top is what you have on.
You've recycled a jingle. But you know what?
Recall.
You know what that jingle represents? It's washable. You can reuse it. So you're wearing the commuter stretch peak short sleeve button down top from Quince. $29.90.
That's ridiculous.
For this shirt.
That's too low.
We've been so trained to think that expensive equals good and affordable equals bad. But what makes Quince so special is that they partner directly with the factories and they cut out that middleman. So basically that upcharge you're used to paying for that little brand name, that little tag literally in the shirt. If you cut that out of the equation, you're saving 50 to 80% off what you would typically pay for pieces of this style, of this quality. The washable silk blouse that I'm wearing right now on Quince, $69.90. It's 100% real silk.
It's ridiculous. That's what I'd pay for just that amount of silk by weight.
If this had a little name brand in it, I can think of 5 off the top of my head that you would find at a department store.
300 and up.
Seriously, there would be like a 3 in front of that number. And lest you think that because the prices are affordable, it must be unethical, Quince only partners with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices.
So give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince.
Go to quince.com/Shandy for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/Shandy for free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/Shandy. Okay, let's totally improvise this one, okay? We're just going to know what note to start on and what harmonies, what melody to do just based on looking at each other.
Squarespace. Not bad.
Squarespace. Yeah, Squarespace, always gets a song. That one was a little lackluster, but I think that it shows the spontaneity you can have when building a website on Squarespace. Did I land the plane?
You did. A little bouncy.
But seriously, with Squarespace, with little to no website design experience, you could have a gorgeous, professional looking website. What you do is you pick out a template to suit your website's needs, and they even help you. They'll help you filter the templates to choose from based on what your website's purpose will be. And then from there, you plug in your photos, your photography, your graphics, your text. And then from there, they have all these features, so many features to choose from. Let's say you're a massage therapist and you're like, I want to have clients be able to book me through my website. They have scheduling. Let's say you want to sell product. They have e-commerce. You can literally sell products through Squarespace, collect payment through Squarespace. We would know because at dearshandy.com, we sell our merch there. And I can really attest to the fact that it's a dream. So go to squarespace.com/Shandy for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code Shandy to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Again, that's squarespace.com/Shandy for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code Shandy for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Slowing biological age, cell by cell, fatty 15.
Oh, a minor jingle, Andy. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do slow biological aging at the cellular level with fatty 15. The ingredient is C15, and it is the first fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years.
90 years.
90 years. So interesting story. The Fatty 15 co-founder, who's a doctor, by the way, discovered C15 while working with the U.S. Navy to improve the health and welfare of aging dolphins. Isn't that so cool?
It's a win-win.
So basically, when we don't have enough C15, our cells age faster. And when our cells age faster, we age faster. You want strong, sturdy cells supported by a strong, sturdy fat, C15.
Why aren't you taking advantage of 75 to 90 years of research?
I know.
People have been sweating away for decades, and all you have to do is take one tiny pill a day.
I know. And let's not forget, Fatty 15 has 3 times the cellular benefits of omega-3 or fish oil. You know, the usual fatty acid you're used to taking. 3 times the cellular benefits.
So Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels
to help support your long-term health and wellness, especially as you age.
Get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/Shandy and using code Shandy at checkout.
All right. This next question is from another anonymous.
Wow. Everyone's scared.
Dear Shandy, I listen to your podcast religiously. Oh, thank you. Oh. I love Charlene since her Juan Pablo days and Pretty Pandas. Oh my God.
Are you just hand selecting Pretty Panda questions?
I swear I'm not.
Are we only getting questions for Pretty Pandas?
No, that was just chance.
Right,
I swear.
All right. I'll watch you.
I live in Munich, Germany. I know Charlene is not so fond of Germans. Okay, I feel like I should set the record straight.
First of all, being not so fond of Germans is not exactly like, you know, an isolated incident.
Yes.
But there are other reasons for that. You are only not fond of a general vibe in the Deutschland.
Yeah, it's not many individuals, although there have been. It's more, I think, for my personality type, because what I've learned about myself is I think I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I went on The Bachelor when I was an opera singer. Like, you just don't do that.
No one does that.
And I think I'm a rebel at heart.
You know what rebels don't do, though?
Talk about being a rebel.
Yeah,
I know.
Sorry, that disqualifies
It's like getting a lone wolf tattoo.
Yeah, it's a lone wolf.
So, but it's more that I found Germany, the culture of Germany.
Yeah, the vibe.
Yeah, the German culture in my taste was very by the book, very orderly.
A little dour.
It depends.
Sometimes, depending on the town.
That depends on the place.
Depending on the town.
And the time of year. Yeah. But for me, I like how in New York I can jaywalk in front of a cop.
And the German sense of humor is a little, it's not, you can't quite place it.
Yeah, the sarcasm isn't really working over there. But this is just meant
But I want to make
so far it doesn't sound like
I want to make this clear. You and I both like individual German people.
Oh, I love.
As a matter of fact, some of the German people I've met have been the loveliest people I've ever met.
Absolutely, yes.
But as a whole, Germany, the vibe, the color of Germany.
It's gray.
The general feel of Germany is not in our top 10 of feels and countries.
Yes.
That's all.
I would agree. Oh, hours become an hour and you're doubling down.
I'm so married at this point.
I know.
Sometimes I'm like, I like something and you don't like it. I just question it immediately.
I get excited. Oh, I know. You question it if I don't agree with you. And if you don't agree with me, I get excited.
Oh, wait, what does that say?
I don't know. But have you noticed, like on the podcast, if we disagree on giving an answer to one of these questions, I'm like,
Well, I have so much faith in you, or I'm so married that when you don't agree with me, I think there's something wrong.
Oh.
Like I did something wrong.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
On me.
Yeah. But you're a rebel.
Yes.
As you said.
Okay, so she lives in Munich, Germany, together with my boyfriend. I'm 44. He is 34. We are a couple for 3.5 years now. 2 years ago, he relocated from his home 700 kilometers away to move in with me.
How many miles is that?
I have no idea.
Just take a guess.
700. Why do you make me do this in front of our Shandies? This is not my forte.
I'm gonna guess it's 400 miles. It's about 400
I was going to guess around that.
Good guess. I might be wrong.
I was going to guess somewhere between 375 and 450.
Ooh, that's a very good guess. It's definitely right in that sweet spot. 100%.
We are very happy, laugh a lot, and never fight, mainly because we are both very self-reflective, and for us, our relationship is, like yours, the queen bee that we both value and protect over all else. We are also fellow squirrel lovers and have 5 to 7 of them regularly coming on our balcony for food and water.
That we then drown.
That's so cute.
You watched the last Q&A?
Oh, should we tell them about the pigeon?
Oh, no.
I'm so sad about this pigeon. Well, it was a set of pigeons.
Yeah,
so on our little Juliet Terrace here, these pigeons, a couple, had created a little nest. It was sort of a sad little nest, but it was in some astroturf, which we have here. And for 2 weeks, they were nursing these 2 eggs.
Yeah.
And then it became 1 egg because one of the eggs looked kind of squished.
Yeah.
And then we saw the pigeon like struggling to keep the remaining egg under it.
Yes, the nest was so flimsy.
Yeah.
Pigeons, they make these nests. It's like 2 twigs. This is not even real. It's nothing.
And then now the pigeons are both gone, and that remaining egg is gone, and we're worried that it fell off the edge of the...
Yeah, and I saw her like rolling, and she was trying to get it under her.
Yeah.
And she was rolling it around with her beak, and it's pretty heartbreaking. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, it's really amazing how you gotta look at individual stories in life. This is a lesson. It's like you look at the big picture. You know, you see the news, like 50 people die in a bus crash in India, and you're like, I can't be bothered by that. But no, I mean, what are you really?
It's not a great look, Andy.
No, I'm just saying. You think everyone like they watch the news and they hear about some bus crash?
You said bus crash the first time. I didn't say anything.
Bus crash. You say bus crash 10 times
bus
fast.
Crash, bus crash, bus crash, bus crash, bus crash.
All right, it's pretty good. Anyway, I'm saying that when you hear about a bus crash half a world away on the news,
no, you're right.
Not many people are breaking down in tears, unless that's from their hometown or something. So
it's because strangers don't mean much.
Strangers become a mass.
Yeah, they're faceless.
Yeah, just an obelisk.
Obelisk?
What's an obelisk? No, not an obelisk. A monolith. A monolith. I'm having some troubles here.
Okay.
By the medicine I took for my eye. It's a little loopy. So anyway, my point is that we must look at individual stories. We must have empathy for individuals, because when you look at the mass, when you look at all the pigeons in New York City, you start thinking like, pigeons.
No, I don't feel that way about pigeons at all. Yes. I feel very, very, you know what I pity? I pity pigeons.
I know, but
pigeons used to be pets.
Pets. And then they were like, we don't want them as pets. But they were homing pigeons. They carried messages.
Yeah, people had them. They lived in the home.
And then they invented the telephone. And then people were like, we don't need pigeons anymore.
Is there any way this isn't true and that we fell for like a fake story, a fake TikTok or something?
It doesn't even matter if it's not true. It's like sort of a parable or something. It's just the pigeons are now persona non grata all around the world. Yeah. You get your few people, the people who sit on a bench, they have pigeons all over them eating. That's very rare. Most people
feed the birds, tuppence a bag.
Don't know what that is.
Tuppence a bag. You don't know that?
No.
Guess the musical that it's from.
Fiddler on the Roof?
No.
Sound of Music?
No, you're close though.
Feed
the birds.
Oliver?
Tuppence a bag. Tuppence a bag. Da 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 na 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 na. It's really famous. Na 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 na. Shandies are driving their cars right now and they're shouting, Andy. They're like, Andy, it's this. Na 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 na. It also has
Mary Poppins.
Yes.
I always forget Mary Poppins.
Good job.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Anyway, my point is that you can't look at everyone as a mass, but then you start to become a psychopath.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it. You just see, you don't care. You're just like, there's billions of them. Who cares? They're just one big color. But then you see this individual drama playing out between these two sad pigeons who wanted to have little babies.
Yeah.
And they struggled, went through some of the coldest May I've ever experienced in this city.
Yeah.
Sat on those eggs in the rain,
For
thought
weeks.
about it weeks, like made sure they were in the right place. They changed positions. They fed each
They took
other.
turns.
That's what I'm saying. Change positions. That sounded weird. Yeah, they take turns.
Yes.
They feed each other.
Yes.
And then what happens? One egg, God knows what happens, just broke. The other egg falls off the roof.
We think.
Probably. And then they just go on. That's it. They probably had some tears and they just moved on. Maybe they separated. Maybe those two broke up. They couldn't handle the loss.
It's possible one of the pigeons abandoned. Like maybe that one of the pigeons was like, oh no, this is like.
Oh, and she's like, no, I'm staying.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
Yes. My hope is that those two pigeons are still together and they're going to give it another go.
I think they are.
Yeah.
I'm going to believe that. I'm going to choose to believe that.
Yeah.
But my point is that, pigeons, people don't really think much about pigeons.
Is that the point? Pigeons.
That is the point. You gotta love the pigeons.
Yeah,
Pigeons are good birds.
Yes.
They're good, sweet, delightful birds.
And
they're intelligent.
And they're drawn to humans. They're still drawn
they mate.
to humans. Yeah.
They're drawn to humans. They're not. You know why they're not afraid of humans? Not because they're stupid.
It's because they were bred
their genetics
to,
are like humans are your caregivers. Love humans, and then what do they get from humans? They get kicked. They put out poison for them.
They're actually beautiful
They become
birds.
synonymous with a pest.
Yeah, that's awful.
Rats of the air, they call them.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Is that what they call them?
some people.
Rats of the air.
I may have made that up. Maybe I'm the pigeon hater.
Rats of the air doesn't quite roll off the tongue. It's not quite chicken of the sea, if you know what I mean.
Chicken of the sea is much better. Yeah, sorry, I'm the virtuous.
Okay, wow, tangents. Okay, so they are fellow squirrel lovers. Anonymous and her partner or her boyfriend, we treat each other with much love, care, and respect, and we are absolutely sure we want to spend our life together. He is a wonderful man.
No, all right.
The end.
Can I go get a snack?
One of my very few problems in the relationship is his teeth hygiene. As a child, my boyfriend often went to the dentist. Many of his teeth were pulled and he developed a phobia. Since then, he hasn't gone anymore and he brushes his teeth very irregularly. As a result, he has bad breath and probably constant inflammation. Because of that, I don't like to kiss him and our sex life is almost non-existent because I no longer want to do it without kissing. However, I miss being close to him and he makes jokes about it every day.
Wait, he makes jokes about his bad breath?
No, I think about the no sex.
Oh.
He doesn't directly accuse me, but he's also unhappy with the situation. We can talk about everything except when I try to tell him what bothers me about him because he's very sensitive about it and it hurts him. Still, I directly told him twice that his dental situation bothers me and that we don't have sex because of it and I don't want to kiss him because I fear I might catch an infection. He was hurt but said he won't be pressured to go to the dentist just for me. He also said that a dental cleaning is unhealthy and he hates dentists.
Okay.
So that's how it remains. He doesn't go to the dentist and we don't kiss or have sex. Any idea how I can talk him into taking care of his dental hygiene? I don't want this situation to continue forever as we are both not satisfied with the sex situation. Please help, Anonymous.
So this is what I will say.
I have a lot of thoughts on this one.
Number one, bad breath is at the top of the list of things you don't want to have to tell someone about who's close to you. So it goes like bad breath, dandruff, something like your makeup isn't great, something stuck in your tooth, toilet paper on your shoe. Like that's basically, I mean, there's a lot of others in between.
Yeah.
But bad breath is the king. It's the hardest one.
Yeah.
It's the most uncomfortable one to approach someone. It feels most
personal, doesn't it?
It's personal. Yeah, because you can change it. It sort of rides between those two categories of like you can change it and you can't change it, but you can't tell someone to change something they can't change. You can't say get a different head.
Yes.
That's just evil.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also not something you'd say to anybody. Stupid example. But anyway, the breath is the hardest conversation
the mouth,
to have.
Can we talk about the mouth? What a crazy area
It's all you are. What is a human without a mouth? Nothing. All we have is language. Remember we were sitting, I wasn't sitting with you. I was sitting with someone else. It was a man. Don't worry. It was John. We were sitting at that restaurant where they have, the restaurant, the Thai restaurant where they have the plastic.
Dividers.
Yeah. So there's this restaurant we go to where they have completely see-through plastic dividers
from COVID, but they keep them.
Right, but they kept them to keep the tables as tight as possible. So what they do is they take a four top and they sit two here. Then there's this plastic divider and they sit two here.
Yeah,
and you're as close to those people as you'd be if you were having a double date, right?
Yes.
Yet somehow it works. And I was talking to my friend about it, and we figured out that it's language. It's because that dampens a lot of the sound coming from their mouth. So you see their mouth moving, but you don't really hear what the words they're saying. And once you take away language from the human experience, they could have been 15 feet away from us.
Yeah.
Like I could be sitting there talking to them. We could be like making funny looks at them. It's like they're a mile away.
Yeah. Wait. What does this have to do with dental hygiene?
I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry.
Full disclosure, I did forget, but I know I'm going to get back there.
Okay.
I know it.
Okay.
I know it. It's right here.
Okay.
So language, it's so important. And I realized that without a mouth, humans are nothing.
Yeah. They can't eat. Well, I mean,
what do you do?
Eat in the traditional way.
What do you do without a mouth? Okay, let's say you can't speak. You can still move your mouth and you can still use your mouth to kiss and to, lick and suck. Okay. Yeah.
I'm saying follow.
You can lose all sorts of things that the mouth does.
Yeah.
But if you lose the mouth, you're not really a human anymore.
Okay. So your point being.
My point being is the mouth
dental hygiene
is the most important thing on the human body, and without a doubt, the most important orifice.
Yeah. Okay, so can I start answering this?
Do you want to list the orifices in order of importance?
No, because I want to answer
this.
I
feel like you disagree with me.
No, I know I'm a dentist's daughter, so I'm going to have like a particularly strong opinion about this. But I think one of the issues here is that they're making it about the sex. And the sex to me is a red herring. This is not about the sex. It's about the fact that your oral hygiene is extremely important. It's connected to your health. It's connected to heart disease. It's connected to life expectancy.
Yes.
And him not looking after his health, this goes beyond his like inflammation and bad breath. This is your life partner. You said you're confident you want to spend your lives together, and he is not doing this is the same as if he was smoking a pack a day, something where it is proven. If he doesn't become ill or if he doesn't experience something involving his health that is not directly related to his oral hygiene, then he'll be lucky.
Yes.
And so
very lucky.
When you talk to your boyfriend, this needs to be, in my opinion, more about his health, not about, I don't, right now it just feels like passive aggressive digs where he's like, we don't have sex anymore. And she's like, I don't want to kiss you. And that's not going to get you anywhere. This needs to come from a place of, I want to have as long a life as humanly possible with you. You're my life partner, and I am worried about your health. Please, for me, if you love me, you will start looking after your mouth.
This is a great tactic. Mine was going to be just say, like, I promise I'll have sex with you every day for a month if you get your teeth fixed.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
You can't, no. I also just love how it's like teeth fixed. Like done, like flicked a switch, the teeth are fixed.
Well, I've got to see a lot of improvement.
Yeah. The fact that he doesn't even really brush his teeth.
No, this is
and he's making it so much worse for himself, because if there's one way to guarantee hating going to the dentist, it's to never brush, it's to never floss, it's to never do the things that would make going to the dentist less horrible.
Yes. I completely agree with you. The strategy here is to take the angle that I care about your health.
Yes.
And if you don't stop this problem, you're going to die.
You didn't used to floss much.
And as a matter of fact, thank you for coming along and telling me to floss, because do you know that one of the questions I ask on a life insurance policy is whether you floss or not?
Oh, really?
Life insurance. Think these people are in this for charity? The life insurance people are the greediest people on earth.
I mean, flossing adds literal years to your life.
They want to know, how to do their little math to figure out how they're going to make money when you die. And if you're not flossing, they know you're dying sooner on average.
That's dark.
They know it.
Oh. So when I met Andy, and I would say actually for the first half of our relationship, you How often would you say you floss? Like once?
Once or twice a week, maybe.
Maybe.
And I wasn't flossing right. I was going right down the middle. I didn't realize you had to go to the sides. I thought down the middle was okay.
Yeah, well, down the middle is like...
It's not great.
It's
you got to get in the
nothing.
sides.
Yeah, you want to just get up in there.
Yeah.
Get up in there, yeah. But you took it very well when in our case, I sent Andy articles about how important oral hygiene is.
Yeah.
And you kind of got scared into flossing more. And now you get a gold star whenever you get a cleaning.
I do. Although I have to probably get my wisdom teeth out. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Getting a tune-up, Andy.
Yeah.
The eyes, teeth. Yeah. Okay, what were you going to say?
Thank you from the bottom of my heart for setting me straight.
Oh.
I really do. You
Doesn't
gave
it
me
feel
a
better?
great gift. Yes, it's a big gift you gave me. You probably added years to my life.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
yeah, no, thanks for agreeing with me. And you, Anonymous, can give your boyfriend the gift of life.
The gift of life, of a longer life. I'm not even kidding. I take this very seriously.
Yeah.
The teeth situation, the oral hygiene situation, it breaks my heart when people don't do this. And then, because it's like when you haven't flossed in a week, you're like, oh, and your gums bleed, and you're like, oh, this is so awful. Imagine if it's been years. Then you're so in denial about the whole situation that you're like, well, dentists are evil. That's
ridiculous.
Well, he has a phobia.
What are dentists? Really? That's your...
Okay, I'm not saying that's what he thinks. My point
I know.
being that you create a story to match the fact that you don't look after your teeth.
But his story is ridiculous. Yeah. He has something against dentists. He has something against the process of dental work. That's insane.
Yeah.
Where did he learn that from?
Well, it's a fear. She's right when she used the word phobia. He's afraid. You know that more people fear the dentist than death, supposedly?
Okay, this is absolute horseshit.
Really?
Yes. No, you can't get away with that on this podcast.
Let me see. I've been told this before.
By who? An idiot?
No. Let me Google this 1 second.
This is absolute nonsense. The thing that people fear more than death is public speaking.
While both the fear of death and the fear of dentists, dentophobia, are common, research suggests that more people fear death.
Another thing, because breath does live in both the changeable and potentially unchangeable, it lives much more in the changeable. Mm-hmm. And anything that is changeable, that is causing major problems in your relationship and your health, should be changed. So he is in the wrong. Yeah. There's no mouth that's bad enough that it can at least be changed 50% for the better.
Yes.
No mouth.
No mouth. Okay, Anonymous, I do not envy your situation.
Didn't she ask how to do it?
Yeah, well, she said, what should we do? What should I do? And I think that she should, I've answered this.
You've answered
She should lead with this being about health and not about sex. This sex will come. I don't think sex should ever be a thing that's like, oh, you're not getting
like a weapon.
Anymore.
It shouldn't be used as a weapon.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be used as a bargaining tool.
Exactly. In this case, this is, forget the sex. He's not going to be alive to have sex with, okay? Like if he doesn't look after his mouth. I know that sounds a little extreme.
No, you're right.
But this is what you need to lead with, in my opinion.
He's not going to have a penis without a mouth.
Isn't it funny how if you told him he would lose his penis because of his oral hygiene, he probably would start brushing his teeth?
I think, yeah. Well, you think he probably would?
Find some article that supports that, Anonymous. Okay, Andy, that is a wrap for this Q&A.
All right.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify
podcast ratings and reviews, tell your friends, and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Ruby. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye. Oh.
Yeah,
I really do feel she loves us both equally.
Exactly equally.
Isn't that so nice?
Yeah, that's really nice. Look at her. Look at this one.